So, a lot of times when I go on listing appointments and I'm talking to sellers, I get the same questions over and over asked by different people. Obviously, number one is going to be, what is my home worth? And I'll have people who call me on the phone and don't even really want me to come out. They're just like, I just want you to tell me what my house is worth. Well, I can't tell you what your house is worth if I've not looked at it. Because a house that's been fully updated and renovated and reflects the latest fashion trend, design trends, is going to sell for more than a house that is straight 1970 with paneling and shag carpet in the living room. So to ask a realtor, what's my home worth, you got to at least let us get in the door of your house and look at it so that we know what we need to compare it to give you an accurate price. Another question I get is, how long will it take to sell my house? I wish I had a magic ball that I could ask. How long is it going to take for this home to sell? But I can usually give people a range based on what price their home is going to be priced at. But again, if I tell you, I think your house should be priced at X, you're like, yeah, I hear what you're saying, but I really want to try it out at Y first and see what happens. Then I can probably guarantee you it's not going to sell within 30 days. If you're going to ask a realtor to price your home for you, and then you're going to go against their suggestion and price it higher, then it is going to stay on the market longer. Now, right now, that could mean it may be on the market 60 to 90 days as opposed to a week. But we have no way of knowing how long it will take it to sell. I can give you time frames, again, based on the price range that your home is in. Another great question that I get asked is, should I make any repairs or renovations before selling? That is part of our job, is to come in and make our recommendations. And there's some homes that I've walked in that I could easily tell them to spend $50,000 in some renovations. But what we have to look at is, what money do you have to invest, and where would that money best be spent to maximize the money you're going to make? Because obviously, if you do $50,000 worth of repairs, it's going to net you a bigger price on your home. But if you don't have $50,000 to invest, then we need to look at small changes we can make to your home with your budget to maximize the home. So I don't go in with a checklist and just start telling people. If I see repairs that are minor that need to be done, like a piece of trim has failed, or a door facing, the dogs chewed it up, or the water has rotted it, whatever the case may be, those are small things I will suggest that someone do. But I'm not that person that comes in and tells you need to redo your entire bathroom before we can put your house on the market. What documents and paperwork do I need to gather? I'm so amazed at how many people think that once we go under contract, they need to give me their warranty deed. When we go under contract on a house, the buyer will choose a title company, and that title company will do the title search. So any documents that they need in regards to your title search is going to be found at the courthouse. You don't need your original warranty deed. You don't need any of your deeds of trust, anything like that. All that information is available online. Now, I will say this. If you're selling a manufactured home, there's going to be a couple of things that we really do need from you. Number one is going to be a structural engineer's report to show that your home is on a permanent foundation. So if you don't have one of those, you might want to go ahead and pay a structural engineer to come out and do that, just so you're not surprised. I've had a couple lately where, oh yeah, we're on a permanent foundation, and then the structural engineer comes out and there were some modifications that needed to be made in order for that to meet the guidelines. So you can always take care of that, be proactive on the front end. The second thing is, do you actually have a title to your mobile home? Or has it been detitled at some point and an affidavit of a fixation recorded? Now, that may not be something you know. Typically, if you have an actual mobile home title, those are going to be like car titles, you're going to know that. You may not physically have them. If you've got a mortgage against the mobile home, then the lender will more than likely have those, just like with a car title. But if you own it free and clear, then you may have a copy of the mobile home title. But those are kind of a big deal that we have to keep up with, or make sure that an affidavit of a fixation has been recorded. So, some other documents that people may want to have handy, if you have an HOA and you've got contact information for that homeowners association person, yes, we would probably need to get that. And it's always a good idea, you don't necessarily have to give your agent the utility bills, but it's always a good idea to look through your past few bills, because I do ask my sellers, what do you think your average electric bill is? What do you think your average water bill is? Because that's a huge thing with buyers. They want to know, if it's an older house especially, has it been well insulated? Do all the units run good? Or am I going to be expecting a $400 to $500 electric bill every month? Another great question is, do I need to hire a professional photographer or staging service? Now, I don't know how agents do it in other parts of the country, but like here, I pay for the photographer for my listings. So that's not a cost that I pass on to my seller. Typically, when they list with me, I do tell them, if you cancel our listing agreement within a certain time frame, then I will ask you to reimburse me for the photos. But otherwise, that's just a cost of doing business for me. So I would never ask a seller to pay for the photos. As far as the staging service, I think we've got a couple of staging companies here in Morristown, but typically I don't necessarily tell people they need to hire one before they go on the market. I tell them the big thing is to declutter and get them a storage pod or a storage unit and pull as much stuff out of the house as they can to open it up so that it shows better. And of course, the biggest question that I get, how's the market? How's the market doing? There's so many different answers to that, because are you looking to buy? Are you looking to sell? Because if you're looking to buy, I can tell you it's a competitive market. You may have to put an offer in on 3 or 4 houses before we find one that you're able to get under contract. And if you're looking to sell, it's a great time to sell. We don't have enough homes on the market. So for you to blindly ask me, how's the market? I'm going to have to ask some leading questions myself so that I know how to answer you. The last question I'll always get is, what are the typical closing costs for selling my house? And so what I try to do is break that down for people before I go out on the listing appointment. Obviously, your biggest expense is going to be the commission that you're going to pay the realtors. And then the title company is going to have a closing fee to the seller. You are going to pay for the warranty deed preparation, because state of Tennessee, the seller pays for that. And then if you want your funds wired to you, they're typically going to charge you the wire fee, because the bank charges it to the title company. So when you're selling a home, the actual costs that you're going to incur are pretty minimal. If you agree to pay any closing costs for the buyer, that would obviously come into play. If you agree to pay for a home warranty, but those are your big costs. And then of course the taxes are prorated, as well as any HOA fees between the buyer and the seller based on the closing date. So if you have a question about selling your home and you're not sure where to find the answer, send me a DM or leave a comment below. I'd love to help you out.